Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man Plop. I just want to go over one of our winners of the day today. Today I called IMTE. If you kept up with me in the trading floor, I called it at 10:31, and we rode it all the way to the top, and I sold before market close. If you kept up with IMTE past couple days, it's been having a really nice uptrend, respecting the low zone very nicely. And I've also come in green, catching the dip all 3 days, the past 3 days, all at the bottom in this load zone. So it's been going very well, and it also just goes to show that you don't need to hold overnighters or swingers. It's very possible to scalp them along the way, especially with a trend that's as clear as this one. So tomorrow I'll also be watching IMTE, obviously, for a dip in this load zone again. Is a strategy that's working so far, and I'm going to keep doing it until it doesn't. So that's our first winner of the day. Very easy to identify. Another one of the day we had was DATS. If you kept up with me in the trading floor, I called it at 350, specifically said I'd load heavy at 357. That was after predicting a pullback from the high 380s, simply because I saw that it was oversold. It was still early in the market. On top of that, you could see this little uptrend going. But I was mainly focused on making this old resistance, into a new support. It worked out perfectly, as you can see here, until it started forming a wedge. I scaled in a little more around here in the 360s, and then we rode DATS all the way up to the 380s until a pullback caused one of my stops to go off. Uh, I missed the pop to the fours, but that's honestly no problem because, as I say in a lot of my videos, I don't really like holding positions overnight. So I'm happy with the gains I made. Wins a win, and I can't complain about that. So on to the next win. So the other winner we had was GMVD. If you kept up with me in the trading floor, you'll see that I originally announced it at 482 in the morning off this support that I drew right here. I thought that the support would work, so I loaded up at 482, and it was working fine at first until it hit a rejection here at 506. You can clearly almost see a downtrend forming, and I got hit at the top of it. And unfortunately for me, I was focused on some other tickers, and I completely forgot to set a stop under the previous low. So it kind of just kept going down on me. But lucky for me, the starter wasn't too heavy. So if you kept up with me the trading floor, I ended up calling it again at 455 and 457. I loaded heavy around there for some more entries, and I let it consolidate. And this was all based off the downtrend, the uptrend that I have going previously. I entered a little aggressively also because I saw that it was oversold on the RSI and the 440. So I figured if it forms a higher low, then it might be worth adding on a dip. So it ended up working out in my favor because, as you can see here, it started taking off out of nowhere, broke through that old support or that old resistance that was I wanted to go off for support, and it took off. And I'm still holding it, and this is the only overnight position I'm holding right now. I'm thinking that maybe I could get a gap up pre-market for a nice sale pre-market, but regardless, it would have still been a winning play even if I had just held on to my original position at 480s, and I still would have came out positive. It was still a good play. It's still a win. Obviously, I could have had a better entry, but that's just how it goes sometimes, and it's up to us to manage our risks and scale into a position that we feel comfortable in. All right, guys. So I'm also gonna go do a recap of the loser of the day. I don't normally do a recap of the loser of the day, mainly because we haven't really had many losers recently. But this one was a big one for me today, and I gave away most of my gains just playing it and thinking it would eventually reverse. But I was very wrong, and I just wanted to go over what I could have done differently to avoid such a loss. If you look at the chart here, I thought SBEV would eventually make a reversal, and when it hit the 330s, you can see that it starts kind of bouncing, and it goes up to the 340s, and I made my first call when it made a small little tiny dip here in the 343s, thinking that maybe it would create a newer low and keep going. which I was completely wrong about. If you look at the 4 hour chart, the main reason I felt that I had conviction for that is, well, it's a few reasons. And I have an uptrend going here. I thought I identified it well by connecting the bottom of these two candles. And when it slowed down here and started bouncing, I thought maybe it was going to keep an uptrend and make a little bounce before another giant candle in the high fours, maybe fives. But that's not what it did. It broke through and also broke through this upper resistance here and is now in this support here that is made up by these wicks over here on the left. And this the top, maybe this the top of this candle right here. Right now, my main support is gonna be this support line. So under three, it can get real ugly and make its way down to the mid twos, maybe even the 260s. It's a risky play for sure, but for whatever reason, give me one second. For whatever reason, I kept holding, and I didn't follow through with my discipline today. I normally set a stop because I know how I am, and I know I like to hold positions, even if I see them losing. But I didn't do that today. I was undisciplined, and I ended up riding. I ended up riding SBEV down all the way to the lower bottom and even on this bounce right here. And not only that, I was scaling in on the way down, thinking that whenever I saw an oversold on the RSI, this was my chance. So I called it again when I saw the dip here. I called it at 320 and scaled in pretty heavy. And from there, it's kind of just still been in this little load zone, and it's my only position that I'm holding overnight aside from GMVD. I'm thinking that maybe I can get a nice little pop in pre-market to get a pre-market sale, but that's also it's worth keeping in mind that I've used Weeble, so I'd be selling it pretty early if I could get that. I find that it's the best time to sell is during pre-market in those early hours. But yeah, this one wiped out a lot of my gains, guys, and I think that it's just a good lesson on understanding when to identify when the stock is just overall bullish and when you need to know when to cut your losses and really wait for a really good setup. If I was wiser and really picking my golden setups, I would have waited. And I even said this in the trading floor to play it safe. I'll wait for the bottom support, which is really funny. I didn't follow my own tip. I would have waited right here to the low dip in the 310s, but I didn't. I got impatient and waited here and then added more. And I really could have saved myself money if I was wiser about it. So that's just an example of what impatience can do, and just another reminder to follow your rules and stay disciplined. Regardless, though, guys, that's all I really have for now, and I appreciate it so much. I appreciate you guys for watching. Please join my Discord while it's still open. We want to get some more activity in there. I'll be leaving the link in bio. Like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching again, guys. Have a good one, and I'll be sure to keep posting more content.